Yes. Okay. Before we started our webinar, I will read the rules for today's program. First, participants have entered the Zoom meeting at 1 p.m. Second, the format of the name uses for participant is name underscore institution. Third, when the webinar is ongoing, participants are allowed to turn off the microphone. Fourth, during the webinar, participants are required to turn on the camera. And five, if anyone wants to be asked, please raise your hand until you are allowed to speak by the moderators. If the moderator hasn't been allowed to speak, then the participant are not allowed to turn on the microphone. Okay. So let's start this webinar. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. Let me introducing myself. My name is Najwa Khairatunisan, and it's a precious time for me to be your mistress of ceremony on this very special occasion. The international webinar with the title Geopark Study 101 for your thesis or future employment. So I would like to welcome Mr. Hisanari Sugawara as our speaker today and all of the audience. First of all, I say thanks to Allah who has given us the guidance, happiness, healthy, and mercy, so we can attend and participate in this special event without any obstacle. Praise and salutation upon our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who had brought us to the path of light from the darkness in this life. So the rundown of this webinar is first opening, second singing Indonesia Raya, third speech from General Secretary of Himagi or people representative, fourth speech from Organization Supervisory Board of Himagi or people representative. Five speech from Mr. Dr. Insinyur Muhammad Burhanuddin Nur MSc as chair of IAGI, as well as the official opening. Six is
pindahkan dulu nih.
chanting
Ini babi.
prayers.
Ini.
Seven is introduction of
Ini ada
moderators and speakers.
Kasian apa? Masuk apa ini?
Eight main event.
Dari Magi Internasional.
Sorry, our participants, please turn off your microphone. Okay. Next, 8 is main event is webinar by Mr. Hisanari Sugawara. 9 Q&A session, 10 closing and documentation session. Well, let's begin this event by reciting prayers. Prayer starts. Finish. Move on to the next agenda. The next agenda is singing Indonesia Raya.
Sialan ini tadi lah 2 jam nonton.
Thank you. The next agenda is speech. The first speech will be delivered by General Secretary of Perhimagi or People Representative. To General Secretary of Perhimagi or People Representative, time is yours.
Oke. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon and Om Swastiastu. To the Honorable, all of the attendees and participants of this international webinar, especially for the Chairman of IAGI, Mr. Muhammad Bahar Burhanuddin, and the speaker of this webinar, Mr. Hisanari Sugawara, and to all of my friends who I am proud of. First of all, let's give our thanks to Allah SWT who have give us thousands of favors so that we can carry on today to this event. Secondly, salawat and salam to Muhammad SAW who have give us many good examples and experiences so that we can be so for that we should imitate him. Okay. And lastly, in place of the General Secretary, I would like to give his apologies that he can bring a speech in today's webinar because of some errands he has to do, and it's quite and he can't leave that errand. So I'm here to give the opening speech in place of the General Secretary. I would also thanks the Mistress of Ceremony who has given me the time for greetings. Hopefully, this webinar can give us new experiences and new knowledge about geopark.
Thank you for your speech. Let's move to the second speech that will deliver by Organization Supervisory Board of Perhimagi or People Representative. Then, time is yours. Okay, because the Organization Supervisory Board doesn't come yet, let's move to the third speech. The next speech will be delivered by Mr. Dr. Insinyur Muhammad Burhanuddin Nur, MSc, as Chair of IAGI, as well as the official opening. To Mr. Dr. Insinyur Muhammad Burhanuddin Nur, MSc, time is yours.
Hey, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, all the participants and the Honorable Dr. Hisanari Sugawara. I think this a very good chance and very good moment today to hear your topic as Geopark Study 101 for your thesis or future employment. I think this great idea to have an international webinar from Perhimagi. As you know, that Geology Department Indonesia, we have a lot of department. Okay, Pak, I will call Pak or Sensei maybe. Sensei, Hisanari Sensei. We have 35 study program of geology, the whole Indonesia. We have around 4,000 students, active students around Indonesia. And also we have what you call bad economic condition with what we call with COVID, and then the economic global is very slow, and this impact of our chance to be employee. Then this topic is what you call, we have opportunity to know how the Geopark study for our thesis or for our employment. You know, we have Indonesia has 14 you how to manage Geopark study and should be a research or be a future employment. And also IAKI, or we call Geological Society of in Indonesia, or Indonesian Geological Society. We have 7 subsidiary of Geowisata means geoheritage. So we have the program. We're working together between district organization of IAKI and also working together with the university and of course government. So I'm very happy to have you in here, Dr. Hisanari, and I would like to hear your topic with Geopark Study 101, and I will what you call enjoy your material. And thank you very much. You sharing of knowledge in this moment, and hopefully all the participants enjoy this international webinar. With Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So let's begin with international webinar with Dr. Hisanari. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ciao.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for Mr. Dr. Insinyur Muhammad Burhanuddin Nur MSc for your speech. The next agenda is reciting prayers by Bilal Aditya. To Bilal Aditya, time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Marilah kita bersama-sama menundukkan kepala untuk bermunajat kepada Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Yang muslim saya pimpin dan yang lain menyesuaikan. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, Engkaulah Tuhan pemilik segala apa yang ada di langit dan di bumi, yang maha kuasa atas segala sesuatu. Jiwa dan raga ini hadir menyerahkan kepasrahan diri atas kehendak dan ridho-Mu. Maka ridhoilah acara webinar internasional yang kami laksanakan ini untuk mengharapkan rahmat dan ridho-Mu, agar kegiatan ini berjalan dengan lancar dan bermanfaat bagi kami yang hadir dan dapat memberikan sumbangsi terbaik bagi bangsa dan negara ini, serta untuk pengembangan ilmu pengetahuan di negeri ini. Karenanya ya Allah, ya Tuhan Agung, lancarkanlah acara kami ini. Berkahilah penuhilah pertemuan ini dengan kebaikan dan ilmu yang bermanfaat bagi kami yang hadir. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, Maha suci Engkau atas segala ketetapan dan takdir yang kami rasakan dalam hidup ini. Berikanlah kepada kami hidayah-Mu untuk selalu dekat dengan-Mu dan dalam ibadah. Jadikanlah kami umat yang mampu bersabar atas segala ketetapan-Mu, dan mudahkanlah langkah kami untuk selalu menuntut ilmu dan berbuat bagi sesama. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, ampunilah segala dosa-dosa kami, dosa ibu bapak kami, dosa para guru dan pemimpin kami, pertemukanlah kami kelak dalam surgamu yang penuh dengan kemuliaan. Allahumma ya Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Walhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Doa selesai.
Thank you for Bilal Aditya for guide us to reciting prayers. Then let's move on to the next agenda. The next agenda is introduction of moderators and speakers. This session will be guided by our moderator, Salsabila Aulia Putri Zakaria. So Salsabila Aulia Putri Zakaria, time is yours.
Okay, thank you for the Master of Ceremony. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I am Salsabila Aulia Putri Zakaria as the moderator of today international webinar that held by Perhimagi. And first, I would like to say thank you very much for Hisanari Sugawara Sensei for taking your time with us for today's webinar. Before we start to the presentation, let us know who is Mr. Hisanari Sugawara. Mr. Hisanari Sugawara has already finished his study of physics in Pima Community College, Arizona, United States of America in 2004. Also, his Bachelor of Science of Earth Sciences in Ehime University, Japan in 2008. His Master of Science in Earth Sciences in Ehime University, Japan in 2010. And also his doctor program or PhD of Earth Sciences in Ehime University, Japan in 2013. He also has already published more than 15 publications, and his research interests all about Geopark and Biosphere Reserve study, transdisciplinary studies, cultural geology, environmental geology, and local geological fieldworks. Okay, let's move to the presentation by Mr. Hisanari Sugawara. To Mr. Hisanari Sugawara, time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody, Mr. and Dr. Burhanuddin and the other people here. It is very honored. I thank you very much for your kind invitation for this webinar series. And let me start my slide here. Okay. Can everybody see this right?
Yes, we see.
Oh,
Yes, Sensei.
Yes.
Yes.
all right, so today I am going to talk about the Geopark study. The reason is maybe some people are very beginner for Geopark, but the others are intermediate or expert. So today I am talking about the Geopark from my experience, and let's see how the Geopark very complex project. So I'm just talking about the overview today. Okay, my name is Hisanari Sugawara, PhD in Earth Science, and I work in a museum. So I do the museum curator, and I am a member of a committee member of Japan Geopark Committee from this year, last year. And my specialized field is the field geology and geopark BR studies, just like Vera said. And I am good at interpretation and the cultural geology and so on. And I'm working in here. This is the part of my museum. And our museum was ranked in the 4th place in Japan for the dinosaur study. And in museum, I work I do the research and I do correction, planning exhibition, and education. Also, I do the management of the museum as well. And outside of museum, I am a committee member of some natural monuments and national parks and geopark. And I am lecturer, and I do the consultant on biosphere reserve and national parks and geopark. And I am a member of this 3REP project. And as a part of this project, I do the ecotourism project. This 3REP project, please Google it after you are done with this webinar. You can find the website for 3REP project. And this 3REP project is, 3REP stands for Sustainable Regional Innovation for reducing risk of environmental pollution, especially the mercury pollution from gold mine. So we are focused on, especially in Indonesia and Myanmar. And in this very big project that I have a sub project in this huge project for a Geopark study in Gorontalo, Indonesia. Okay. So let's move to the definition of geopark. Maybe many of you have taken a look at the Geopark UNESCO Global Geopark website, and we can read the definition there. And it says UNESCO Global Geoparks are single, unified geographical areas where sites and landscapes of international geological significance and managed with a holistic concept of protection, education, and sustainable development. And it's very complex, right? What do you think? And I marked the important keyword as the geopark is the area, actually. And it should have a geological significance, of course, because this is geopark, right? And we need to work on the protection, education, and we have to think about sustainable development in the framework of geopark. So that's the definition. But this definition, in many cases, we are kind of confused. Like, what is the purpose of the geopark? Or what is the definition again? Many people ask the same question over and over. So I am giving you the basic idea today. Actually, there are some types of geopark. It depends on the country, but we have UNESCO Global Geoparks. Now there are 5 UGGPs stands for UNESCO Global Geopark. Okay, so there are 5 UGGPs in Indonesia right now, and there are also the national geoparks. And also, here is the aspiring geopark, like a candidate for geopark. But in some countries, actually, there are no national geoparks or aspiring geopark, but they only have, like some countries in Europe, they only have UNESCO Global Geopark. So there will be the kind of geopark planning at the first time, and they just apply for the UGGPs to the UNESCO directly. But in most cases, in like Indonesia is probably similar with Japan. We have national geoparks, and we have aspiring geopark as well. So usually we gonna plan, if we want to plan the geopark in one place, then we submit some documents to the ministry, and they're gonna admit as aspiring geoparks. Then after the assessment, that place is gonna be the national geoparks. And after some governance in national geoparks, then we can probably apply in some time for UGGPs. And I have to tell you that there are some groups, the network. The networking is very important in UNESCO ideas. And Indonesia and Japan, we are in Asian Pacific Geopark Network. So you can Google it as well. So there are a lot of countries which has the geoparks. And as you can see, geopark is marked with a lead pattern. But what do you think about this? I wonder why many countries never participated into this UNESCO geopark project. And probably it's going to be your assignment to think about it. You can find some national programs or the international programs into this UNESCO project. But there are only one UGGP in Canada. It's very big country, but one. And no geopark in the United States, no geopark in Russia, and only some geoparks in very huge African continental, right? So most geoparks are very jumped in Europe and Asia. So there are now, as of December 2020, 161 UGGPs from 44 countries. And now they got the documents, the application form from 16 new candidates for UGGPs. And they're gonna be probably, I don't know, it's up to the coronavirus, but they're gonna be evaluated in 2021, this year. And talking about the Japanese geopark, we have 43 geoparks right now. By the way, I'm talking from here, very center of Japan right now. And there is one geopark very close to my place, like 30 minutes by car. It's called Shimonita Geopark. I will give an example later. But anyways, we have 43 geoparks in Japan, 8 UNESCO global geoparks. And about the Indonesian geopark, well, this map needed to be revised. This is our work with Dr. Kurniawan from ITB. But actually, there are 5 UGGPs in Indonesia and 2 geoparks from Indonesia is aspiring UGGPs. So they gonna be assessed in 2021. And this is another one. Actually, it's a very similar, the same one, same map, but I updated a little bit. But I haven't updated the number of UGGP in Indonesia. This is 4, I write it, but this is 5. Okay, you can find the idea of fundamental features of UNESCO Global Geoparks from UNESCO website. But let me explain briefly. UNESCO is saying there are 4 fundamental features in geopark. One is the geological heritage of international value, because it's a UNESCO global geopark. It should has a geological heritage, good view, good landscape or something like that, but it has to be special. So there is academic research. Because of the results, academic result is supporting the international value. Geopark is governed by maybe NPO, NGO, but anyway, at least it should have a legal legislation. So it's very important. And third one is visibility. It means like as long as we started the geopark, it should be visible to everybody, like visible for tourists, visible for the local people. That's the one feature. The other one is networking. This one is just like I said before. The networking is very important. The geopark has to cooperate with other geoparks and makes the geopark project better and better. So the geopark project itself is kind of changing, revising a little by networking system. So this is very important features. And there are 10 focus areas of UNESCO Global Geoparks, and you can find the detail in the website. But they say the focus areas are science, education, woman has to be empowered in geopark, and of course, sustainable development, SDGs. And the center one, local and indigenous knowledge, is not really familiar with science people, but in many times, there are many knowledge from the local people, but we scientists never find it from our study. That's why Geopark also thinks it's important. And next one is geoconservation. We should work for conservation. And other one is culture. Culture is also geo, okay? And climate change, geological hazards, and natural resources. There are like top 10 focus areas, and it's important, but I don't really go over in a detail because it's my talk will be very much boring, and you can read the detail online. So today's topic, I have to talk about the various things, but I'm going to concentrate on the contents of Geopark today. And next one is bottom-up structure. The UNESCO emphasizes the bottom-up structures in Geopark. That's why I have to talk about it. And I can't avoid talking about the new normal ecotourism because it's the COVID-19 stuff around the world, and we have to face the reality to find the next good step for Geopark. Okay. So what is Geopark? The usual people thinks, well, Geopark, the name of Geopark, the Geopark is just about geology, and that's why Geopark is a geological park. But reference says no in 2017, and they clearly listed it's the wrong idea. So it's clearly not only geology. And some, like usually the government people ask me, what kind of park, amusement park are we gonna build? But Geopark is not like this. So in Geopark, there are various contents. Okay, so Geopark's geo means the Gaia. Gaia has the meaning of from all contents on Earth, including people. So Geopark means the Gaia park. So we're gonna enjoy the whole nature and the culture. That's the Geopark. And the way of enjoying the nature, enjoying the Gaia, with a little spice of geodiversity is the geopark. So maybe some of you have experienced to take a look at this kind of figure, but there is, I can subdivide everything into 3 diversities. One diversity and the bottom is geodiversity. The other one on the top of geodiversity is the biodiversity. This is famous. And the cultural diversity on the top. We're gonna make the culture. The people are making culture. Okay, so these 3 diversities are related to each other. So we're gonna show something with a little spice of this bottom geodiversity. Well, what is geodiversity? Geodiversity is, for example, geomorphology, erosion. There's an erosion system, and the rock, of course, soil. Soil is diverse, and sand. If you go to the beach, you see the white sand, green sand, and the black sand. Sand is very various. And water, some places low pH, high pH, hot springs, a lot of water. And climate, very cold climate or hot climate, or in the desert area, very hot in the daytime, and at nighttime, it's very cold. So this kind of things is called geodiversity. The biodiversity, as you know, there are animals, a lot of kinds of animals in the plants, and they are all related. Usually the scientists are focused on one field, one species, but one species relate to the other species all the time. Okay, so we're gonna see at these biodiversity as well. And cultural diversity, foods and their buildings or how they live, agriculture, the music, the history or religion, human. So think about the attractive geopark with their contents. Maybe only the geology contents. Maybe you're showing the rocks, how much important the rock is. Maybe some people, like some people from geological students or geology specialty people. But let's make a story with biodiversity and geodiversity. Then maybe we can get the more people. And with cultural diversity, then more people. And we can enjoy the nature sometimes. So we can provide some activities. Through the activities, the tourists can feel the importance of geodiversity, biodiversity, or cultural diversity. That's gonna be okay. Maybe the tourists gonna enjoy themselves, but maybe on the background, they feel some importance of nature or culture. So we can correct a lot of people. And this is kind of the essence of visibility, just as I talked before. We can raise the visibility, not like the project is not for ourselves, but for everybody. So we can provide the information with the great contents, great transdisciplinary contents. And think about your own attractive geotour. Think your wife or your husband, your girlfriend, boyfriend, or your best friend, you hang out together for geo tour or eco tour in Geopark. What kind of tourism? What kind of tour you can think of? Maybe tourism for education, when you teach the students what's the effective way to use the geopark, or only for fun, maybe with your friends or family? What kind of tour you can give? So you can think about it. And next slide is the importance of Geopark project, its sustainable system. So actually, I already show that the contents of Geopark, it's very much transdisciplinary. And this contents is stood on the academic research, actually. So the scientists, just like our, we are geologists, most of you are geologists as well, right? And we research about the geology or geodiversity. And some people probably go far beyond, like with geology and animals, or geology with some fishes. And everything is stood based on this research. Because we have the contents supported by academic results, we can show it very, we can provide the good quality ecotourism, or maybe education. So we can let them learn and enjoy at the same time. And as a result, we have a great outcomes here. We have a prevention and preservation of nature and cultures. Because if people don't understand the contents of their local places, they never think about the preservation or prevention. And because there is a contents to tell to the people, then you will understand how much nature and culture is. That's why it leads to the good prevention and preservation. And it makes a local satisfaction. That's why in the next step, the people will think, okay, let's do some more research to find out something new from our field. So this is a very nice cycle, sustainable cycle. Okay, next topic, we are focusing on the bottom-up approach. UGGPs emphasize a bottom-up approach, and you can find this line in website. Okay, top-down approach and bottom-up approach is a very famous approach in the system. And top-down approach is very familiar, maybe very familiar, Indonesian people familiar, and me, Japanese people are also familiar. It's like a one-man company, or the government is usually the top-down approach. There is a top who makes a decision. Then the top people, like a president or mayor, they give the orders to the lower people or lower division. Then again, they order again to the lower people or lower divisions. That's the top-down approach. But UNESCO is emphasizing to try the bottom-up approach. That is, we do the decision-making. Like we local people, or we local students, or we local people are kind of gives the ideas or makes the decisions. Then we say that kind of idea or decision making to the higher people or higher division or something like that. That's why this is very different. It's the different approach. And as an example, there is a transition to more sustainable system in the Shimonita Geopark. It's very near here. And Shimonita Geopark is very small place. The area of 188 square kilometers and only 7,035 people in here. But they have 43 geosites. This place became a national geopark is because this is very small area, but the diversity of geodiversity here is very, very much great. There are, they have accretionary complex. They have sedimentary, they have big fault and everything in here, jam-packed, volcano, old volcano, something like that. But in the year of 2015, before 2015, they have the structure like this, the geopark structure. The decision making is just like the committee made a decision. And there is a big discontinuity from committee to the local or tourists or other individuals. So their governance was pretty in a bad situation. And Japan Geopark Committee, they find out the problems. And in the end of 2015, the Shimonita Geopark got the yellow card. Actually, Geopark, it's same as UGGP. Japanese Geopark takes a reassessment every 4 years. That's why Shimonita Geopark got yellow card. That means in next 2 years, they have to fix the problem. So they change the system to more sustainable way. They got the idea from locals or tourists, and they talk about the ideas, or they brush up the ideas in 4 subcommittees, like tourism, academics, or tour guides, something like that. And then lastly, they're gonna brush up and decision made in committee. So they change from the top-down system to bottom-up system. So bottom-up approach makes actually more visitors. And because local people are saying the local problems or some ideas of Geopark, so they solve the local problems by themselves in Geopark. That's why it led to the local satisfaction. So as a result, the local people loves local more now. So it's very sustainable. And we have to think about it because the most Geopark is supported by the budget, right? Budget and people. And the budget's origin is usually from the tax from local people. That's why the Geopark has to be for the local people. We need the local people to make a good sustainable Geopark. Okay, that's the bottom-up system, and I'm gonna move on to the COVID-19 cases. I can't avoid talking about this situation related to Geopark. COVID-19, as you know, it's raising up. It's a little old information, but the horizontal axis is the time, and vertical axis is the people, the million people. So it's uprising, and still in some countries, it's very severe situations. And we have very big COVID-19 impacts on tourism. For example, this is as of July 1st, 2020 by United Nations. And their statistics says we have minus more than 30 billion US dollars. We lost it because we can't do the tourism anymore right now. And in Indonesia, it's more than 20 billion American dollars. So it's a lot of money. So we have to think about some like a new normal geo or ecotourism. So this is only one idea, but I'm going to introduce the remote tourism, or some people said virtual tourism. This is the challenges for new normal. Actually, this picture is from Faroe Island. Faroe Island is very famous and very photogenic places. And I'm following their Instagram as well, and I'm following the Facebook too, because it's great. And they had a problem about the over tourism. A lot of people, too many people go to Faroe Islands because it's an amazing place. So their just local paths kind of disturbed by a lot of tourists, and their nature are distracting little by little. That's why before the COVID-19 cases, they already started the remote tourism by themselves. So we can have some knowledge from them. And now the Japanese Geopark started the web remote tourism like this. And as you know, this one is Doraemon. Just like Doraemon, open the door, like open your PC, then the world is there. So it's about 20 American dollars, but especially the Japanese National Geopark called Hagi Geopark is very good at this website internet geotour. So they started to make the card payment, and sometimes they send some souvenirs or secret box to the participant and in front of PC. Then they're gonna open their that secret box in front of the PC when they're in the internet tour. So we can do the web surfing, and we can think of the expectation. What can we do if we visit, for example, we visit Java Island, then what kind of things we can enjoy? Then we can think of the good remote tour. It should be led to the next step after COVID-19. Maybe the people who take part in this remote tour, they start to think like, oh, I really want to go to this place. I have done my remote tour, but making this is very great chance, great challenge. So this is one Geopark website, and there is a very nice website, Seiyo Geopark, Seiyo City. So we can like do the remote tour. We can prepare. And this is the scenery of Gorontalo, Dimboto Lake. Well, that I don't know why, but it's very nice place. So in context of the remote tour, we can think of the physical geotour, what we can get from the physical geotour and what we can get from remote geotour. So some things, some contents are kind of doubled. It means we can get from either way. But the essence of remote geotour, remote tour, is here in the red arrow. So how many ideas you can think of is there? It's gonna be the important for the future challenges. Okay, and lastly, I am introducing the interpretation of what the geopark is actually, and probably you are still confusing. So I recommend you to take, if you Google the Global Geopark Network, then you can find this evaluation document A. And it's as of 2016, and there UNESCO is still using this format. So if